Thank you all so very much for joining us again. This is Talk That Stuff. Tonight, we're going to be recapping and reviewing the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We've got two juicy things to cover, among others. Is Drew Renaissance tour ready? I mean, inquiring minds. Also, is Marlo really upset about vocabulary? Let's get ready to talk that stuff with Jermaine and Michelle.
Hey, how have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
Good. Did you enjoy this episode?
I did. I did. It was
I
a
did
nice
too.
start at the beginning, a very nice start at the beginning, and maybe like the last 2 minutes, it was
Yeah.
like what?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah. Leave you wanting more or something. So yeah, it was good. And it started off with Sheree with girlfriends over for brunch, and she had Sonya over and Marla over. That brunch looked really good, I
it
will
really.
say.
Look, I was ready. I was like, hold
Okay.
on a minute, I need to call somebody.
You know it's good when you eat with your fingers. They had their French toast, they had their fingers in it. So yeah, I was like, oh, that looks so good.
Forget about the bouginess, baby. Let me. Let
Okay.
me.
Like, we for real. So Sonya and Marlo comes over, and Marlo said the new her is not reacting, she's just taking it in. So we're gonna hold on that because that will come into play later. But anyway,
Mhm.
she discusses
She might not be holding the peach because
right.
she is not Nene.
So they talk about it's a lot of talk about BravoCon. Did you watch BravoCon at all or any of
I
it?
watched some of it, especially like if it came behind what was it, Potomac.
Okay.
I was able to catch that, but not all of it. No, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I don't know. I wasn't, or maybe I just forgot about it. But I would see clips, but I didn't watch the whole thing, or any of it. I guess just the
Clips
clips.
was
But
good enough.
anyway, yeah. Apparently, Mama Joyce was on there still talking negative about Todd, and Marla was just like, Kandi needs to stop talking about her because the streets are talking, and the streets is your mama.
It's the truth.
So
We all know it. Come on now. We all know
right.
it.
And so I guess my thing is, I thought her and Todd had gotten, I don't know, I thought they had gotten better. Their relationship was better. And I
I
don't
think
know if
so
it's
too.
just her thing to talk about Todd, like that's what makes her relevant, or she really doesn't like him. I don't know.
I think it's more of the farmer. I think it's
Okay.
more of the farmer. I don't think it has anything to do with how she really feels. I just think, hey, it's the reason why I'm on this stage, boo. I gotta
Exactly.
talk about it.
Right. So that's true. So, but it seems like even with Kandi and Todd, that is still something because when they showed I guess he got the message another way. She got the message through, I think it's his daughter, and then her daughter sent the message. And so, in any case, um, it seemed, I don't know, it seemed kind of like an off camera moment where they were just like, what's really going on with your mama? And she stopped talking to her mama. So, it must have been something. But anyway, hopefully they're at least clearly they're cordial because he put money in their pocket with that OLG restaurant and stuff. Because if he's making the most he's ever made, she making the most she ever made.
That wasn't because of Candy.
Well, I mean, of course it was because of Kandi, but So, but at least she could say it was not exactly like from Candy's hand to hers. It was at least a restaurant that their name is on it. They kind of walk into once a month. I don't even know if it's that much.
When the
They,
camera's rolling.
right. That's whenever that is. So, Sonya talks about Drew and how she thought they had resolved their issues from the reunion. I had forgot about that hair flip, but clearly it was something to Sonya. And then on BravoCon, she said some stuff or whatever. So I don't know. They talked about that. And then Sheree brings up Kenya visiting her, and they talking about Martell, that same old conversation. But she feels like the girl should respect Martell because he's kind and funny and not arrogant and cocky like he is on the other show. Like she wouldn't like that guy. Now, Marlo said that she wasn't originally a fan of him, but he's showing up. And I thought this was interesting because she was like, girl, he picked me up from the airport last night. And they were all like, what? I don't know if, to me, like that's the minimum, right? I don't know. Unless it's something, I mean, I've been to the Atlanta airport a lot. And I mean, it's a busy airport. And maybe she lives like far away from the airport. I just was like, is
That's the
that what
minimum
you
you could do is pick me up. It's the minimum.
Is that how you measuring your man? Like they both, all of them was like, "What? He picked you up from the airport?" So I don't know. I thought
Maybe
that
that's kind of like a sign in Atlanta. Maybe that's like a sign of, okay, we're serious. You know what I'm
maybe so.
saying?
Okay,
Because that's not my reality.
yeah, because I'm just like, I know Houston. Well, y'all have two. Dallas has two, but I would expect my man to pick me up from the airport, not like, yeah. And he probably was in her car. Who knows? Any case, because he
Now, I'll
doesn't.
tell you what.
If
If somebody come to pick you up at like, let's say 6:00 and you in that Houston, traffic, oh, that's a commitment.
Okay, so maybe it was the time, the traffic. Okay, so maybe that's what it was. Because the way they said that, I was just like, okay, is it? I mean, and judging from Sheree's past dudes, maybe that was a step up. But I was just like, okay, okay.
Baby daddy.
Right. So Drew and Ralph, they go rock climbing, and she talks about
By
how
the way, I was so mad that that Ralph was wearing his little heels. Like, no.
At any point, this was your time to shine. Oh my gosh. He has been fully clothed this season. Oh my God. We'll see what happens. This is episode 3. So there's still time. So they had been seeing Dr. Ken for marriage counseling, and she feels like they were in a great place. And she's going from housewife back to her music, and asking how he feels about that. And he felt like that was actually the original plan, and they were gonna be like Ike and Tina, R.I.P. Poe Tina. But
my goodness.
It was shocking because I hadn't heard anything about her being sick, so I was just like, oh.
I won't lie. Like maybe about 3-4 months ago, I was like, "Ooh, it's about that time for her."
Really?
It crossed my mind. I was like, "It's about that time." She was up there when we were younger. I remember she was in her late 40s when Michelle, you and we had to have been like 10. So,
and I guess like some people you expect to live a long time because she had the legs. She seemed like she was still moving and grooving in her 70s.
The original Beyonce, huh?
Right. So I guess I'm just thinking, and I haven't heard it. Like they'll pop out every once in a while. So I was thinking she was just living her life, but yeah. But she lived a good, solid life, and thankful for what she went through to give us music. Yeah. So anyway, as he says, Ike and Tina, did you notice he did that? I'm like, no, you do not want to be like Ike and Tina. She was like, I feel like we should be more like Beyonce and Jay-Z. But anyway,
sometimes whether you realize it or not, the truth comes out.
It comes out. Okay. Oh my gosh. And so she felt like, I guess, so was it 30,000 streams? That's what she had gotten? 33,000 streams. Okay. And she was excited about it, and he felt like it should have been more. And yeah, especially because with her being a housewife. But I guess, is he also a marketer or something? Because she felt like he wasn't, like he did the song and then kind of just left it. He wasn't pushing it.
Now that was the thing that I didn't understand. I didn't understand why she laid the blame on him. Like, I don't know what could have been discussed, behind the scenes between the two of them, who would be responsible for what. But it just seemed like, hold up, wait a minute. It seems like this would have been Drew, your wheelhouse, and not necessarily Ralph's. So why are you putting the blame on him? Like, that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and I don't follow Drew on social media, so this is my first time hearing the song, and maybe now that it's on the show, more people will listen to it, at this point.
I was interested, like, because I pay for it monthly. So I could have downloaded it, but I forgot about it.
You're like, if you didn't do it during the episode,
I'm not gonna do it.
Oh my gosh. So in the next scene, Kenya is like being a boss for Kenya Moore Hair Care and abusing these babies, cussing them out and whatnot.
It was so funny. She was talking about like what she believes in the young kids. She believe, I just want to see them grow. I'm gonna be a mentor to them and all of this. And she cussing them out.
Right.
She calling them stupid and everything else. Like, oh, come on now.
And that poor little Caitlin or whatever, the assistant, she looks scared. She was like,
when you're being abused.
Right. I need this job, but how much do I need this job? So anyway, she ended up calling Moneta, which is Candy's friend, and she's headed to. I'm assuming the Toya she's talking about is Lil Wayne's Toya. That wedding she was headed to, but well, it was no longer Lil Wayne, but that's the only way I can describe her. And Kenya said that she's doing a surprise performance based on like HBCU, and she wanted Monyetta to choreograph. I don't think I knew she was a choreographer, but yeah, she was choreographing something for the wedding. So she agreed to do it, but she said she went to Grambling. She must be from Louisiana because she went to Grambling her freshman year. And
you know what? A lot of people from the Midwest love Grambling.
Until they get there, right?
You talk to them about Southern who? Southern
yeah.
what? They don't know anything about Southern. All they know is Grambling.
That's true. That's true. And I don't know why it is, but they do. Some of them know, but Grambling is really like in California and the Midwest, like it's all about Grambling. And then they get there and be like, "Oh, we in the country? Yes, you are." Mm-hmm,
I'm transferring to Southern.
Okay, that's a wise decision. Even though she ended up going to Louisiana Tech, that's the only reason I thought she was from Louisiana, because
2 Louisiana schools back to back.
You said what?
2 Louisiana schools back to back.
Yeah, and to me, if you're gonna go out of state to Grambling, I would go home somewhere. I wouldn't go to Louisiana Tech. But in any case, she wants her to do that choreography. So I guess that's something we have to look forward to based on the scenes from the next season. So we'll see how they do. So Kandi and Don Juan, I missed this, but Don Juan must have said something about his wife in one of the other episodes.
His who?
Yes, exactly. His wife. And because I was listening to something and then people were like, did y'all know, or maybe it was on Twitter, did y'all know Don Juan was married? Because he said something about his wife. And I was like, I missed that too. And they had a picture of her and everything.
Does she know she's married to him?
I said, like, was she a white lady or older white? It was something that was interesting, but yeah, I was shocked.
This is too close to home. I don't know if I can talk about this.
Y'all gotta stay for the after show. Exclusive. Oh my gosh. So yeah.
There were pictures of her, you say?
Yeah, they had pictures. They had pictures of her. I can't remember. I'll try to send them to you if I can find them again. Okay. But yeah, I was shocked. But they're working on Kandi's must-do list, and it's like from the ceiling to the ground. And Todd was his movie was not on there at the very bottom, or like they had to stamp it on the top. And so Don Juan was basically encouraging her, basically, you have to be there for Todd like he was there for you. And I think that is true, because even though she has the financial money to do a lot of these things that he's doing and that she's doing, you still need his support, even if it's at home with the kids or with some of that producing stuff that she's been doing. Because I don't know if she could have done that on her own. But anyway, that's interesting. And then they talked about the piano lesson and the BravoCon stuff that we already talked about. But have you seen any of Kandi's, like, where she reenacts scenes?
I haven't, other than, I don't know if it was something that you sent me, or maybe we saw like a little clip on it during the last episode. Other than that, I've never seen it.
Like, okay, so I would give Kandi a hard time because I was just like, she's not the best actress, because she plays on The Shy, and the way she acts, it's like
real dry.
Yeah, and that could be the character. It could be the character. I mean, it doesn't distract from the show, but it's kind of like, did y'all put her in there because of her name? But when I tell you these reenactments, Kandi is on it. Like,
really?
They're really good. Really, really good. I'm shocked. Yeah. So I don't know if she's gotten classes or what, but all of those are really good. So I'll give her that. But anyway,
I think you love the shade and the drama. You love it.
Because it is both. Because the stuff she reenacts, I mean, yeah, very good. But what next? Oh, Drew, cousin Courtney, these newfound cousins, they come to visit, and she wants to make a good impression. And her little daughter looked just like her. She's so cute, little Anaya. But anyway, Candiace comes. So let me see. It's her and her baby daddy, ex-partner. ex-partner, I think is what they call him, Bryce. Now, when he came through the door, did you recognize him?
Not one bit.
Not one bit.
They showed that picture, and I was like, "Oh, I used to be in love with him."
Me too. I was like, "Oh my gosh," because he played on, was it Beauty Shop? And I forgot he was in that singing group, because I used to always think they were the same people. I was like, maybe they look alike, but I was like, oh, okay, they were the same people. But I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Because no. So okay, the only that's what I said. Okay, the only bad thing about peaking in like high school, like
Michelle, I hate you. You ain't changing all these years. It's so. It comes across just so nice and sweet.
Some people will peak in high school or peak in their 20s, and then it's downhill from there. And I guess he was one of those. But the good thing for those that didn't peak in high school, there's still room to grow. And I'm just like it's like I see a glimpse of who it was. It was kind of like, even after they showed who he was, I kept looking like, okay, I guess so. Like, I was so disappointed. I'm like, Oh well. Anyway, he came.
You're so silly. I love it.
But he came over there too, and
it was more like, "How dare you?
How dare you? Do you remember how you look?" And maybe you know what I think it is, because some people, when they I just thought about it, because he was bald, wasn't he?
No, not bald. It's just really close.
A really close haircut. Okay. Mm-hmm. And maybe it was something about the way his hair was, and then the shape of his actual head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyway.
Digging that hole.
Let me stop there. I'm sure he's a great father. So anyway.
Speaking of, she was beautiful.
Who?
Their daughter.
Yes. So cute. And she looks just like Drew. And Drew is beautiful, like even without her makeup. Because remember when she came to Candiace, like I don't know if it was a sound check or something.
I'm talking about the newfound cousin.
Oh, you think Candiace is beautiful?
Not Candiace. Well, is that her name?
Not Candiace. Courtney. Sorry, Courtney.
I was talking about Courtney's daughter.
You know what? I need to go back and the 24-year-old. I think I saw the clips of her, but I didn't pay attention. Like, did she have little sunglasses or something? I don't know. I
don't think so.
Yeah, for some reason it didn't. Yeah, I'm sure she was, because Courtney's not a bad looking lady, so I can't. The dad and her, I can't imagine them making somebody that's not attractive. So yeah. But anyway, I don't know if it was before. Yeah, it had to have been before they came over, when Candiace calls and she mentions that she's on tour, and her and Chris, Candiace and Chris and Ralph and Drew have done stuff in the past. So she considers Candiace a friend. And Shamari, you remember Shamari?
Hold up. You said they've done stuff in the past.
Oh, sorry.
You got to clarify.
I do, especially with Ralph. They've done family outings. I ain't gonna say vacations, but they've hung out together in public settings in the past. That is very true. I have to clear that up. But anyway, Shamari, Ronnie DeVoe's wife, was supposed to be her special guest.
I forgot all about her. I was so mad she didn't come back that next season.
She was full of drama.
She was full of drama.
And what's interesting, I saw her, there was another show called, I can't think of what it was, but it was basically about R&B groups from the 90s. They got them together in a house to come up with a new album. That show was full of drama, but she was the one that did not have drama, which was interesting. Mm. She was kind of like the peacemaker. So,
really? But she was getting drunk, though. I bet she was getting drunk.
I don't remember, because there was so much drama in that house. Everybody was drunk. So she probably was. But in case, she invited Drew to be her special guest. And when I tell you, it sounded like President Obama asked her to be on the cabinet and sing or to sing the national anthem. She was so excited. And it is a great opportunity, but I'm like, girl, act like you've been somewhere. But so she's excited. It's a good thing. But
It's good
Courtney,
for Drew. It's good for Drew. You know,
it is.
you know.
And I guess if you've been like a house, like you were a quote unquote up and coming star, and then you kind of paused to be a housewife, and now you're getting back out there. She probably is like, okay.
Yeah.
So, but Drew's kind of shady because I couldn't remember, but she did know about the Kandi and Courtney incident, and she FaceTimed Kandi, and Courtney left. If you notice, Courtney was just like, "I'll see you later, girl,"
which was classy. Yeah. I like that.
Nah, but Drew was like, "Girl, guess who's over here? Ralph's cousin, Courtney." And I'm like, "Oh Lord!" So of course, Kandi ain't gonna be happy about that. And but anyway, Courtney feels like it's all squashed. But you know, she could come to the performance or not if you know she don't want anybody to be insecure or anything like that. And I'm just like, "Oh Lord!" But that's them at the house now. Oh gosh, Marlo and well, I'll skip Marlo and these boys. Oh no, I have to talk about that because that's where we found out the cousin. I don't remember hearing anything about this, not cousin but nephew, before this. But anyway, Marlo and her nephews are headed to the mall, and you know Marlo always got to be flashy about name brands and stuff, and so she's going to pick up something, but she mentions that she wants to make sure her nephews have a better life because her older nephew, Quentin, was lost due to gun violence. So they kind of introduced that because otherwise I was just like, where's this coming from? Because we never heard anything about this from her. But it was interesting that she did ask one of the nephews, well, she asked them both how they feel about the life coach. And they were like, do you like her? And they were like, They like, do you see a difference in me?
I see you trying.
I see you trying because, yeah, she tried for one episode here. But
you know what? That had to have been a natural reaction because even though they know the cameras are in the car, it's not. It's probably become commonplace to them, and so they don't even think about it. And so that had to have been a natural reaction for the two of them.
That's the thing about the kids. Like for the most part, the kids aren't acting. Like you can't make them act. For the most part, they're gonna say what they're gonna say, especially Giselle kids, girl. Well, not girl, but boy. Child, whatever. Anyway, so I don't know if you noticed, but when they did that transition song, I said that sounds like Candiace. It was a transition. It was into her. It was before they actually showed her, but I was like, that sounds like Candiace. I wonder if that's her actual song. But it transitioned into her, I guess, dress rehearsal or something. But anyway, I was excited that her song made a transition. I'm sure she's getting a little change from that. But they are going to her concert, whatever it is, at City Winery, and Drew comes early because she needs to get the vocals and all that kind of stuff together. That's why I thought she looked good, natural, no lashes, nothing. And I was like, because you know, sometimes they take all that stuff off and it's a different person, but she still looked nice. But in any case, they get to the show and all the ladies arrived, the who's who of Atlanta. I saw Dr. Heavenly and her kids and all of them kind of come in. And, you know, I think Kenya, Manetta, and Kandi get there first. And then somebody gets there before. What's her name? Sonia. And then Marlo comes. And it's all hugs and waves and everything like that. But then Marlo comes in. She does hug Sonia, but then she was like, "Hey, ladies," and they were like, "Hey." Yeah.
Kandi was like,
"Somebody giving her a head nod."
Hey.
Right. I was like, at least they, you know, acting somewhat cordial. They acting a fool right up in the City Winery. But so Marlo goes to get something to drink, use the bathroom, something, and my what's her name? Sonia is like, "Okay, where are we at with Marlo?" Because she,
messy. She's just messy.
And so Manetta brings up the fact that before, you know, because to me it seemed like they had a really good conversation in Jamaica, but before she got over there, she was just like, Kandi must have given her permission to come over here and talk or something like that. And so she didn't see that until after the show aired. And so she wasn't too happy with Marlo about that. And then Courtney came in and and then Sheree said she wasn't feeling well. So yeah, she went in. So anyway, everybody's all excited for Drew's, concert performance and everything like that. And so, when it's time for her to come out, I honestly thought, I did not think she was gonna do her song because it was Candiace, but I thought they were gonna do a whole song together, do a little harmonizing, do maybe a snake or something. She came to the corner of the stage and was like, basically, repeat after me.
Her background.
Yeah.
It was almost like her background.
And I thought it seemed like, and I know it's probably a balance when you're someone's special guest, like, okay, I ain't gonna blow them out the water because it's their song. Because it sounded like she was about to do a little something, and then she just ended up just singing regular.
She held back, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, okay, girl, you better use that 43 seconds to your bullet. So I was a little shocked at how short it was. I did not think, though, that it was her concert or that she would do a full song with her music. So I wasn't surprised on that part. I was just surprised how short the special guest part was.
Exceedingly short. Like, and I agree with them. You called us out for this? For this.
Yes.
Like, I get it. You're excited. I get that. But nah, hey, y'all, I'm about to do this. You don't really have to come. But this is what's happening. You don't have to make a big thing out of it.
Yeah, unless she didn't know what exactly it was when she got there. I don't know, but
9 times out of 10, she didn't. She didn't, because she was so excited. The first thing that she did was she picked up the phone and called Kandi. So at the time, she couldn't have known what it would have been.
That's true. That's true. So she might have been surprised too, or just found out when she got there. But in any case, when I tell you, because I was like, maybe they just showed us clips, but no, we saw the full 43 seconds, I think. We saw it all. But I think it was nice. Ralph got her flowers. He seems really supportive in these scenes, like a great husband this season. So
very
far.
Supportive, skin tight, everything. Skin tight.
You're looking at his supportive garments.
Supportive.
Oh my God. And so they all, obviously some kind of drama. So they all congratulating Drew while also letting her know that it could have been a little longer. Some people are saying it nicer than others, but they mentioned that Sonya gave her a standing ovation. But Sonya was like, I was really proud for you, but really what was going on with BravoCon? And so they end up squashing that beef, and Kenya had a corny song about squashing that beef. So they did that. But Drew brings up what Courtney said about Kandi, about the ghetto people. So they go back and forth about that. And Kandi lets her know that if people came out, they should be happy because she bring out everybody. She bring everybody out, the ghetto and the non-ghetto. She didn't say that, but, So they seem like they at least let that digress. I'm sure it'll come back up. So then Sonya brings up the Monyetta and Marlo discussion. And Marlo, of course, is playing like, I don't know what you're talking about. All I said, that you were beautiful, whatever. Anyway, and you were saying that whatever Kandi does, is that between y'all? I don't take, like some friends will be like, if you don't like them, I don't like them, that type of thing. And Monyetta was like, that wasn't it, but I had an issue with what you said before that. And Marlo was like she didn't remember. She played that. So anyway, Drew brings up the shooting at Blaze, except she says, what's going on with that incident at Blaze? She called it an incident. And Marla was like, what incident? Are you talking about the shooting at Blaze? And, Kandi was like, I'm not going to talk about that. It's a legal thing or whatever. Marla was like, I'm getting ready to go home because whenever Kandi Burress, she talked about what she want to talk about. I put all my business in the street. You can talk about my mug shots and all this kind of stuff. But as soon as we ask something about Kandi, if she don't want to talk about it, we ain't going to talk about it. And so, her stuff is all swept up on the rug. So they kind of like let it go, it seems like, and they all head home. But 30 minutes later, well, no, actually it was 30 minutes after production shut down or something. We see Drew and Marlo arguing about it. And she was just like, look, why didn't you call it a shooting? Why did you call it an incident? And she was just like, but I was confused. But she said she was triggered because her nephew, I guess apparently was hired as a chef or something. I don't know if it was Blaze or one of the Kandi restaurants. and he ended up being killed by his roommate, unrelated to the restaurant, but I guess it triggered her enough, and she was mad that Drew didn't call it a shooting because that's what it was. And Drew, I mean, I was like, Drew's face was how my face was. It's like, why are you mad at me? You really mad at Kandi. Like,
Thank you. And then even still, why would you be mad at Kandi? I don't understand why she would be mad at Kandi
at all. Because I mean, to me, like, if the reason that Marlo talks about everything is because she was trying to get that peach. So she put every piece of business on that street except who is funding her, because we still don't know how she's making her money. That is yet to be revealed. Because I'm like, you buy $1,000 stuff for your nephews if they make good grades. Like, where you getting this car?
Where you get it from? Where you get it from? Tell me. Let me know where you get it
from. We don't know. So definitely keeping that secret. And she's mad at Kandi. Now, I think somebody on the Escape show said, I think Tamika Scott said something like that too, that like she noticed that when they start talking about stuff with Kandi, she'll get emotional or don't want to talk about it, and they won't air it. They'll cut the camera so she could get herself together. So it might be some truth to that. But Kandi, I guess, basically is at a stage where she can do that. She ain't got to put all her business in the street because she is like like a staple in the show that they probably not gonna get rid of. So it might be some truth to that, but Drew ain't got nothing to do with that. And when they did the preview and she was like, my nephew is dead. My nephew is dead. I was just like, what did Drew? And Drew looked so crazy. Now I know why she was looking like, what is she talking about? Like, you act like I killed your nephew. We ain't heard, this was years ago. And you didn't bring up, I don't even remember the nephew being brought up on the show. They didn't even have any behind the scenes. Did they have behind the scenes? Oh, they did.
Well, 2 years ago, she wasn't on the show. She was just, floating
but they
in and out.
did have a scene where she mentioned it to Kandi, and they aired it, and where she just mentioned it to Kandi in passing, I guess, in one of the scenes that they didn't air. So she did bring it up on the show, I guess. It just didn't make the show.
And so what came first? Was it the text message to Kandi, or was it that scene that came first? Because it kind of made it seem like the text message.
I think the text message was first. So the text message was, at least from the way they aired it, she basically was, because her nephew was alive, and she was just like, oh, this guy. And if you think about it, Kandi does not have anything to do with who's hired at the restaurant. She don't know all the employees, as far as I could tell. She may be somewhat familiar with it, but I think they have a high turnover. She don't know who work at every single restaurant, who they just hired. But Marlo apparently texted her to say, oh, the cook or something that y'all hired at one of the restaurants is my nephew. And she was like, oh, really? So it was just kind of like one of those. And then when he passed, they had that video, that conversation on camera. And I don't know, to me, I didn't see anything. It didn't seem like she didn't care or she didn't know what she was talking about. It just seemed like, wow, but she was definitely mad at the wrong person. And I don't know the difference between a life coach and a therapist, but she needs a therapist. That life coach, I mean, that's fine for her and the boys, but for your personal issues, therapist, honey, yes. Work out them issues.
PhD.
Yes.
MD too. She needs a both. She needs to be medicated. She needs to be medicated. Telling you. Something wrong with that girl.
Woo, she held it in as long as she could, but I'm like, okay. She said she held things in before she reacts, and maybe she held it in until Kandi left and then reacted. But yeah, but I enjoyed this episode because, of course, that's what we look for, a little drama.
You know what? I need a little bit more next episode, though. I need a little bit more.
They can't pump it up. But I do like that it's drama that, well, except for Courtney. Courtney, that drama about you don't know me, that seemed like stuff that's been replayed. But dead nephew drama and stuff is new.
Yeah. I just don't know where they could go. I mean, what have you heard? So we do know, according to what you told us last week, we do know that that Ralph and what's her name? Drew. Yes. Ralph and Drew, their marriage is gonna be a little shaky. So we might see some of that this season. What else might we see?
I have not, unless something happens with Sheree and Martell but that's still like man-woman drama, which we
I
see
mean,
every season.
we see it all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Come
So
on,
that's
show up.
okay. Yeah, we can bring more of that. The only thing I can see where Kandi and Todd are going is with his movie and her involvement or lack of involvement in it. We already know she got a full plate of stuff to do. So that's what it seems like where she is going.
And Kenya, what's going on with Kenya? Maybe her divorce? Has she divorced him yet in real life? Not real life, but like
as far as I think they're still working it out with the custody stuff. They're still
even
working
now
it out.
after all this time.
Yeah,
I feel like it's been 4 seasons.
And I don't know if did I hear this or because I don't remember her mentioning on the show. Maybe she did, but like he wants alimony and partial custody and stuff like that. So they're like really trying to work it out. It's a girl I like to hear review, and she was talking about her divorce and kind of comparing it to Kenya's. And she said when you marry a narcissist, she played a video from Instagram. Basically, when you marry a narcissist, the divorce can take longer than the marriage because the narcissist doesn't want to lose. They want to win. So they're going to throw every, loophole, everything at you so they can win and hopefully weigh you down or at least be, you run out of money and be like, okay, forget it.
So do you believe Mark was a narcissist?
I kind of think so. I wouldn't have thought that initially, but when they had him on camera, I did get some narcissistic vibes from him. So, yeah.
Okay. I barely remember. It's been so long. I barely remember all of that. Only thing I remembered about him was his nose ring. I was like, oh.
I didn't remember that. I did remember him seemed like he was a good father to Brooklyn. He loves her, but to me, like you can be a good dad, but your daughter sees how you treat your mom. It's like you don't think about it, but it happens, and then they end up getting a guy like that.
Repeating those cycles, yeah.
So we'll see, but yeah, hopefully they'll do something. But I'm enjoying it though. It's not like snooze fest. It's just okay. Let me see what else y'all doing. But it sounds like I don't know what that summer and winter is all about with Marlo kicking. Did you see the end when Marlo was kicking Kenya's door and she was like, "Why you kicking my door? My daughter's in here." It must have been go to the HBCU thing.
I had to watch it on what is I had to watch it on Peacock because my Xfinity was messing up, so I had to watch it on Peacock and it kind of cut the end, so I couldn't see what's going to happen next week.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's when they're going to go to the HBC. It's like one of those I forgot which one she called it, but one of those classics. She's gonna go to a classic and to promote Kenya Moore hair care, but it's also going to be a routine and whatever. So she invites the girls. It looks like they're on a bus, so it must not be. I don't know where it is.
So Marlo kicks the door down.
No, not kicks it down, but they must be trying to get Kenya because all of the ladies are outside the door and they're like, I don't know. It's like Marlo. It's like summer. She's saying the word summer, and she kicks the door, and then Kenya opens the door and like pokes her head. I was like, "What the f are you doing? My daughter's in here," or whatever. And then somebody in a diary says something about summer and winter, or something like they use those words. So I'm sure it'll make sense next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I think that's it.
Yeah. I think so too.
All right. Well, we hope that you all have enjoyed this particular episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Make certain that you ring that notification bell so that you can watch us live. Y'all have a good one. Until next time.
Take care.